this video we will discuss chemical species, that is ions, molecular ions and free radicals. We must know what is ion. Ion is a charged species which is formed after the gain or loss of electron by an atom. Based upon the charge, we have two types of ions: positive charged ions, which are also known as cation, or negative charged ions, which are known as anions. First of all, we will discuss cation. What is cation? A positively charged particle is called cation. A positive charged particle is called cation. Usually, cation is formed when an atom loses one or more electrons from its outermost shell in a chemical reaction. We will understand the formation of cation with the help of some examples. For example, hydrogen atom changes to hydrogen atom when lose one electron in a chemical reaction. After the loss of one electron in a chemical reaction, hydrogen atom changes to cation, hydrogen cation. After the loss of one electron, hydrogen atom changes to cation having +1 charge. Since it loses one electron in a chemical reaction, so it will attain +1 charge. Similarly, we will take one more example. Sodium atom. If we have sodium atom changes to sodium ion after the loss of one electron. When sodium atom loses one electron in a chemical reaction, it changes to sodium cation, which have +1 charge. Similarly, if we have calcium, then in a chemical reaction, calcium changes to calcium ion after the loss of 2 electrons. Since it loses 2 electrons, so that's why it will attain +2 charge. These are the examples of cations. I hope these are clear. Now the next concept is anion. We must know what is anion. A negatively charged particle is called anion. A negatively charged particle is known as anion. How anion is formed? When an atom gains one or more electrons in a chemical reaction, then it changes to a negative charged particle, which is known as anion. It means anions are formed by the addition of one or more electrons in the outermost shell of an atom. We will see the formation of anion with the help of some examples. For example, if we have chlorine atom in a chemical reaction gain one electron and changes to chloride ion. Similarly, nitrogen atom in a chemical reaction, oxygen atom, if we have the example of oxygen atom, so in a chemical reaction oxygen gain 2 electrons and changes to anion. Since oxygen gains 2 electrons, so it will have -2 charge. Oxygen with -2 charge is known as oxide ion. Similarly, nitrogen gain 3 electrons in a chemical reaction. Since nitrogen gains 3 electrons in a chemical reaction, so it will have -3 charge. We get nitrogen with -3 charge, which is known as nitride ion. So these are the examples of anion. I hope these examples are clear to you. Now some questions are given here. The question is, why an oxide ion has -2 charge? So we will see how an oxide ion is formed. An oxide ion is formed when oxygen gains 2 electrons in a chemical reaction. Oxygen gains 2 electrons in a chemical reaction and changes to oxide ion. The question is, why oxide ion has -2 charge? Here we notice oxygen gains 2 electrons, so that's why it will attain -2 charge after the gain of 2 electrons. So that's why oxygen has -2 charge. I hope this is clear. Now we'll see the next question which is given. The question is, why magnesium ion has +2 charge? Why magnesium ion has +2 charge? Now we will solve this question. We will write magnesium. Magnesium usually in a chemical reaction lose 2 electrons and changes to Mg+2. Since magnesium lose 2 electrons in a chemical reaction, after the loss of 2 electrons, it will attain +2 charge. +2 charge is due to the loss of 2 electrons. That's why magnesium ion has +2 charge. I hope this is clear. Now we will see why sulfide ion has -2 charge. This is the next question. So we will write the reaction of sulfide ion. We'll see how sulfide ion is formed. Usually sulfur, after the gain of 2 electrons, changes to sulfide ion. Sulfur after the gain of 2 electrons changes to sulfide ion. Since sulfur gains 2 electrons in a chemical reaction, sulfur gains 2 electrons in a chemical reaction. So that's why it will attain -2 charge. That's why sulfur has -2 charge after the gain of 2 electrons. I hope this is clear. We will study the next concept, that is molecular ions. We must know what are molecular ions. When a molecule loses or gains electron, the resulting species is called a molecular ion. It means when a molecule loses or gains electron in a chemical reaction, it forms a molecular ion. A molecular ion is also a cationic molecular ion, or when they carry a positive charge, or it may have anionic molecular ion when they carry a negative charge on it. Cationic molecular ions, that is those molecular ions which have positive charge on it, they are more common, they are more abundant as compared to anionic molecular ion. We will see some of the important examples of cationic molecular ions. For example, we have methane ion which have plus charge on it, that is CH4 have plus charge on it. Similarly, helium ion He plus, as well as we have nitrogen ion which have plus charge on it. These molecular ions are formed when gases are bombarded with high energy electrons in discharge tube. The gases ionizes to give molecular ions. Molecular ions are highly reactive species. I hope molecular ions are clear to you. Now we will discuss the next important concept, that is free radicals. We must know what are free radicals. A species which has an unpaired electron or odd electron and bears no electrical charge is called a free radical. A free radicals are odd electron species. Usually free radicals are represented with the help of dot over the symbol of an element. For example, we can write the free radical of hydrogen like we write hydrogen and we write a dot over hydrogen. It is a free radical of hydrogen. Similarly, free radical for chlorine is represented like this. Free radical of CH3 group is represented like this. These free radicals are highly reactive species, and free radicals are usually formed by the breaking of covalent bond between two atoms when they absorb heat or energy, light energy. A free radical is extremely reactive species because they have tendency to complete their octet. Now we will see the formation of free radicals with the help of some examples. For example, chlorine molecule in the presence of sunlight. Chlorine molecule, that is we have Cl2 molecule in the presence of sunlight. Sunlight changes to 2 chlorine free radicals. Similarly, if we have methane molecule, methane in the presence of sunlight, CH4 in the presence of sunlight changes to a CH3 methyl free radical as well as hydrogen free radical. I hope free radicals are clear to you.